So I want to talk about loving oneself on the path. And I saw a video recently that talked about this very theme. And I liked the way that this gentleman phrased it. And it's advice I've gotten elsewhere as well. Craig Holiday comes to mind. But when you start to prioritize healing, wholeness, you'll come across people and advice fairly routinely encouraging you to love yourself. And that was always a little bit confusing on one level, I could say, and challenging, mystifying. Say challenging on another level, especially if you just feel kind of tapped out as far as your resources, internal resources. And there was this sort of bind of like, I value being honest and being authentic, and I see how those are important ingredients on the path. I don't feel this like upwelling of love towards myself, of, just warm, gushy, all embracing, unconditional love towards myself. Yeah, that's probably not, I'm sure I could describe that better, but I just don't feel, when people would say that, I'd even kind of almost have this recoil of like, love myself. I don't know how to do that. I don't even know what that means, really. I don't feel this great love towards myself. I feel wounded. I feel in pain. I feel many other things, but not necessarily love. I don't want to just kind of put this, fake it till you make it, high, glossy artifice of, I wanted to be authentic about what I felt, and, so that was a little bit of a confusion and difficulty. And what I've had, what this video I saw recently, and what, Craig and some other people have told me about that when I sort of drilled down into that, is, what that looks like actually, what that means is being there for yourself, allowing yourself to be authentic, allowing for pain to express, allowing for shame to express, anxiety, fear, loneliness. Allowing for your wounds, allowing for pain. We'll just say, I don't know about anxiety, but allowing for pain to express. And just the allowing yourself to feel that which you have not, that which has been previously buried. That's what it means on one level, to love yourself, to be with yourself, to allow these pain. It's all the stuff that every other video I've talked about, really. Just allowing, surrendering into all the internal confusion, all the unfinished noise, unfinished energies, uncompleted energies, frozen, repressed stuff. Just that commitment, that willingness to be there no matter what comes up. That's one way to define, loving yourself. Even if you're not feeling this this warm, effusive feeling of love towards yourself. Now, maybe that is a possibility and much more accessible for some people. But I think the way that I'm now kind of sharing about it, talking about it, will be more accessible for a lot of people. When you get that advice, love yourself, it means be with yourself. Surrender to yourself. Be that space that you haven't had in the past or haven't felt that you had. Be that space in which this stuff can surface, this stuff can transmute, this stuff can come forward, the scared parts, the frightened, lonely parts. Be that space. It's not about coming on to those parts with some kind of song and dance. It's not about artifice or pretense. So that really kind of harmonized and resolved that issue for me. So yeah, it's not even clear that that's the best way to express it. When people talk about loving yourself, be with yourself, allow yourself. And you could say there is something very loving about that, even if it doesn't feel like the emotional experience of love. It feels like you're vomiting up toxic crap that's been repressed. It doesn't feel great. On another level, there's a deeper sense of there's a deeper sense of, I don't know if satisfaction is the word. As you go through the process, and not too far into it, just as you have a few of these experiences of having something come forward and transmuting it, moving it. I've used the example of getting a massage, and kind of there's like this almost sweet or delicious pain of having somebody work on a sore spot, work on a knot and release the knot. That pain is pain, but you kind of reconfigure, you reorient towards that pain, and it can become, because you recognize it's evolutionary, you recognize it is healing, that it's releasing, it's a liberatory experience of that pain. And so there's kind of almost it helps to increase the willingness, but I don't want to say it ever feels great, but anyways, I can't think of the right way to express it. Something like an exquisite pain, maybe it's something like that. So loving yourself, you could maybe slightly rephrase it, something like be with yourself, allow yourself, hear yourself, see yourself, be with yourself, I think feels closest to it. And the unconditional part of it, if you want to put it that way, that's something that develops more and more. I don't know about perfect unconditionality, but more and more, just the willingness to say, okay, whatever needs to come forward that's been repressed, that's been hurt, I'm softening into that, I'm opening into that. I'm willing to sit in the fire.